Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my April 2019 horoscope report for you, where I will give you the need-to-knows for your sign, as well as talk extensively about the general transit energies, the conflicts between them, where they're rolling together, and how you can best use this knowledge of the energies to have the most graceful, productive month possible. Definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, where you can check out my blog. Among other things, I have every month things about the new moon, the full moon, and how best to use those wonderful energies, and lots of other things there. If you'd like to book a live reading or sign up for my astrology apprenticeship program, you can also do that at anniehelpsyou.com. Definitely check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days, which is an Amazon bestseller. So what's going on this month for you? I'm going to show you the charts that I used to figure out the information that's most important for you. So the layout of the rest of the video will be, we'll switch over to the visual of the charts. I'll show you in detail for the early, middle, and late degree placements, what you can expect for this month, important themes, and best ways to use the energy. Then we'll transition back. You'll see me back here on this video to talk about the general transits, and I'll give you the dates to note and all kinds of other things you need to know for this month. So let's go into those visuals now. Hello Capricorn friends. Okay, so let's take a look at April 2019 in more detail for you. If I differentiate out between early, middle, and late degree Capricorn, I want you to know where you stand there. A lot of the information I share will be general for all of you, keys and messages for all of you, but when I differentiate, I want you to be able to know where you're at. Okay, so early Capricorn people, you are December born or 0 to 9 degrees. Middle Cap people around January 1st through the 10th or 10 to 19 degrees, and late Cap around January 11th through the rest of the sign or January 20th through 29th. Okay, so often I get asked the question, is this report for me if Capricorn's my rising sign or Capricorn's my moon sign, or is it just a sun sign report? And the answer is that it is for you if you have one of those Cap placements, because so the moon chart is one window out of the house of our experience, the sun chart is another window, the rising sign chart is another window, and these are all views out of the house of our experience, similar to windows in a home. If you look out the view of one window, it doesn't negate the other view, it's happening at the same time. And that's the same with these viewpoints, okay? So whether you've got rising, moon, or sun in Cap, this will hold relevance for potentials for you. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is something a little bit more superficial, then I want to go into some really deep stuff. So the more superficial things, I want to talk about the general energies of the month with the personal planets moving through the signs and the kind of energies they bring and how that blends with your energies. Okay, so we'll use, let's see, the middle degree chart just to talk about some of this stuff that will be the same for all of y'all. Okay, so this month we've got a predominant still of water energy. And so in general, water energy does flow nicely and make beautiful 60-degree angles with your Cap placement. So that's a nice flow. The next energies that are happening have to do with the placements in Aries. Now, Aries is a strange sort of combination with Capricorn because while it does make a 90-degree angle, meaning it can be challenging, it also can mean it can be a catalyst. There can be some pressure that you have to push through in order to get to where you want to be. But what's the same about these is that they are cardinal energies. Cardinal energies activate something. They're instigators of things. And the cardinal energies are the ones that start at the beginning of the changes in season. So if that kind of helps you understand the energy a little bit more, at the beginning of all of the changes in season that we have, we've got these cardinal energies present. So cardinal energies, they take action, they do something, they're unidirectional. And so in that way, these energies flow really well with your energy because you get that. Okay, so you've got this mix of fire energy with water energy flowing with the Capricorn energy. Okay, also, again, more superficially, we've got some strong focus, and this is for early, middle, and late degree placements, where the second and third houses have gatherings of energy. Okay, so that was late. Oh gosh, the middle one is hiding there. Middle and early. Okay, so second and third houses are accentuated. The second house has to do with money, focus on money and finances and resources and values. The third house has to do with mobility, movement, cars, vehicles, devices, communication, things like that. So we've got strong focus on that energy at this time. Now, for the big, deep things, this is my favorite part. I'm calling the theme of this time the keys to your future. Okay, so what I see to be the keys to your future, I'm going to use the middle degree chart, but this is going to be true for all early, middle, and late degree. Okay, so don't let this throw you. This is just, we'll call it a general cap chart. One of the major keys to your future is intuition. Developing your intuition and reducing dependence on logic and tradition even. Okay, so all of you have this energy that is accentuating the 12th house. And the 12th house, Jupiter in the 12th house, has to do with the expansion of intuition. For those of you who are interested in developing your psychic perceptions and those gifts, this is amazing. It's one of the best transits you can have for that. Many people will move so deeply into the realm of intuition that they'll start doing work using intuition as the main source of the work. But there will be lots of Caps who are not in that designation. It won't be that extreme. But for all of you, some movement towards letting intuition, letting synchronicity, letting the signs, letting, your dreams, letting that quiet space that doesn't necessarily make sense, but you have an inner resonance. That is one of the big keys to your future right now. Okay, so the second key for Capricorns is your voice. And this has come up before because there's a long-term theme going on here. Finding your voice. I know many people with strong Capricorn placements in their chart, including myself, that have been very ambitious and focused on outer worldly efforts and have been very successful in those ventures. Sometimes those ventures involve the person's true voice or calling, and sometimes it hasn't. It's just been a way to make money. It's been something fun for people with Capricorn placements. Sometimes money and accomplishment is just actually fun for the sake of itself. But what's at play here is this true voice. In general, Capricorn energy is more reserved. Now, of course, not making a scathing generalization that every person listening with a Capricorn placement is reserved. I'm not super reserved. Y'all know me. But I have very strong Capricorn placements, but there are parts of me that have this energy. All right, so it's either more overt or more covert, but there's an energy of being reserved, of holding in, holding back, controlling, managing. Capricorn elements in general like to have things managed, and that doesn't always flow with your voice. Sometimes people with these strong placements here can be so reserved with certain things that they don't even know what their true voice is anymore. And that's a very sad but true thing. And that's part of why one of the keys to your future has to do with finding and expressing your voice. And for some of you, this will actually be singing or speaking or something like with your actual voice. But it may be artwork. It may be helping people, expressing yourself that way. There are a million ways this can manifest. It's going to be individual. But the finding of your voice, and your intuition can also help with that, is going to be one of the huge keys to your future. And actually, both of these things, strangely enough, can be linked to even more material success, even if that's not your intention going into it. So those are two major keys. The third key to your future is flexibility. Now again, this is not a trait that is associated with Capricorn. That doesn't mean that you listening aren't flexible. Maybe you have other aspects about yourself where this flexibility comes in. It's not coming from the Capricorn placement. Flexibility is coming up as a theme that's necessary. Many different points that I see in the chart. Okay, so if you can keep these things in mind, not just for the short term, but the long term. And even, I always put these out early. This is true. This is going to be true in March as I have this out. This is going to be true in April. And this is going to be a theme that while there are some short-term elements that are just present right now, that is going to carry over. All right, so commit to your intuition, finding and expressing your voice and flexibility, and that is going to help you so tremendously and be absolutely life-changing. Okay, so those are the things that are most on my mind for Capricorn specifically. Now, I have some things that I really want to share with you about the general transits that are very important that I haven't really covered, that will help you to use and understand the energies in April better, because we've got some weird things going on this month energetically. But I have a plan for you as to how to manage that and how to best use it. So I'm going to go into all those details now. So the theme for April 2019 for the general transits is the urge for action, but ... And I will explain in detail as to why I'm calling it that. So the astrological new year begins at the end of March each year, and at that time the sun moves into Aries, which is the astrological new year. Shortly after, or sometimes coinciding with, in this case, shortly after the sun moves into Aries, other personal planets, meaning the ones that are closest to us, start moving into Aries. So the sun will start out the month in Aries. Midway into the month, we'll have Mercury, then Venus is going to follow shortly after in Aries. So all of this action energy will make you want to do something. So adding to the drive for action, Mars is going to be in Gemini. Mars is how we use our energy, and Gemini is all over the place. And it's always really busy. It's thinking, it's talking, it's doing, and it's restless. So we've got Aries energy, which is among the most restless in the zodiac. We've got Gemini energy, which is among the most restless in the zodiac, combining together, and people are going to want to talk and move around and go places and do things. Plus, we will have just gotten out of a watery, Mercury retrograde covered month of March, and people are going to be ready for some action. So this energy all combined can be great for getting things done, but there is a hurriedness about it, and a recklessness, and sometimes not paying attention. So it increases the chances for accidents or doing something, slip-ups in ways that that aren't positive. So you definitely want to be more careful, pay more attention, add some breath, add some consciousness to all of this oomph energy, because you really need to take more caution. This month carries some awkwardness in the way that, although we have all this fire energy and then the important air energy in the Gemini, there will be all of this like pent-up energy to do things, but because there's still energy in Pisces that's transitioning over, this water energy, specifically in Pisces, can bring more of an abstractness, like an uncertainty, an inner focus, and just really not feeling sure. So when you have the combination of like, you need to do something, but you don't know exactly what to do, then that can cause a lot of wasted energy, just putting a whole bunch of energy into something and then a couple of weeks later realizing, as the Mercury retrograde post-shadow transit energies shift mid-month, that actually the direction is completely different. So you're going to be chomping at the bit at the beginning of April and say, oh, Mercury is direct, time to do stuff. But I really want you to hear that in that first couple of weeks, try to find your certainty before you take action and commit. Mid-month is much better for committing, it's much better for certainty, it's much better for clarity. So the more that you can be sure about what you're doing instead of doing for the sake of itself, the better. And the more you can tune into inspired action rather than action just for the sake of itself. So like tuning into what spirit wants you to do rather than you just being so whacked out that you have to do something. So, you know, going to the gym, exercising, doing things that can get this energy out. But of course, be careful when you're doing those things as well, that it's not too aggressive and you don't hurt yourself. So definitely watch the signs and the synchronicities closely, because those will be the things that can help match you with the best path. The other thing that's going on this month is that Jupiter is in retrograde, is moving into retrograde, and it's going to be there for months, okay? And when this happens, the expansion frenzy that was occurring before then starts to stop, basically. And sensitive people may have felt this even earlier, because there is a pre-retrograde transit shadow transit before Jupiter goes retrograde as well. So if you're finding that even in the open window of February, the end of January and February, if you were starting to slow down, your ambitions were starting to slow down, that could have been Jupiter getting ready to go into retrograde. And so during this time, having kind of a break from the long unbridled expansion spree can be of benefit, because you can take stock and evaluate. So pulling in carefully to evaluate the next steps is a really good move. It doesn't mean you can't do anything or shouldn't do anything. It just means if you naturally are losing your ambitions, then don't be concerned when Jupiter, it will come back, basically. Definitely economy of energy utilization is called for now. That's one of the things that Jupiter, especially in Sag, really wants when it goes into retrograde, is how you are spreading yourself thin and how you can condense your efforts so that you can be much more productive. So basically, fewer brilliantly placed actions that are supported by inner certainty are much better this month than just crazy haphazard action for the sake of itself. I really love this time for spring or down under fall cleaning, and I definitely love Marie Kondo's message to release anything that doesn't spark joy. This way you have surroundings and everything in your life with things only that spark joy. She's got 2 amazing books that I highly recommend, and this is an amazing time for taking action on things like that. Definitely vision boards are well supported at this time. So the new year, the astrological new year started at the end of March 20th, when the sun moved into Aries. But the New Year's kickoff party is when the new moon in Aries happens, which is on April 5th. So that's one of the best days of the whole year for a vision board, and the days around there and this time, it's really great for putting things together to help you figure out what you want to create this year. It's a really wonderful time for planting seeds. Something interesting about this month is that most of the days that have sweet aspects are completely coupled with days that have challenging aspects. So there's not as much of an easy time to say, this time is good, this time is challenging. You know, we've got a few days right in the beginning of the month where there's a series of sweet aspects, but then pretty much for the rest of the month, there's just like dicey, sweet, dicey, sweet, dicey, sweet. So just really, really tune in to how your personal flow is with these transits. That full moon on April 19th is definitely going to be very intense. It's a full moon at 29 degrees of Libra, so like culmination of relationship things. So definitely look out for surprises then. There are some sweet aspects that go along with that full moon, and there's also some dicey ones that go along with that full moon, but definitely very intense. So if you want a detailed list of the dates of each of the aspects and what goes along with those, you can sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. When you sign up for my free email newsletter, you also get access to my 28-day virtual coaching program, which is free when you sign up. So you can just go deep, deep, deep in with that. And then plus you'll get this written report in your inbox delivered a month early so that you can have a visual understanding of what's coming. AnnieHelpsYou.com, you can book a live reading with me. You can check out my astrology apprenticeship program if you resonate with how I do astrology and you'd love to learn with me. I also have some other wonderful vocational support courses that you can take, as well as subliminals to help train your mind to create the life you want. I've got all kinds of other goodies on my site. If you'd like written reports, astrology reports, horoscopes from me, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com for monthly written horoscopes that often have different information than is in my videos. And there are other blogs there as well too, natural lifestyle blogs. So definitely check those things out, and you can check out my husband's website, iamhelios.com, iamhelios.com. He always has very interesting goodies there, and he does tarot and astrology as well. So I would love for you to check out my new book, Radical Prayer, Transform Your Life and the World in 28 Days. This is an Amazon bestseller, and it is wonderful for anyone who really wants to shift their experience in life in a very simple but powerful way with this beautiful little book. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.